Welcome everyone to Vista Center's Tech It Out with Vista. Today's presentation uh, will be about the BlindShell Classic 2 cell phone. My name is Bob Geyer. I'm a volunteer with Vista Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired. My co-host today is Ryan Lynn. Ryan's an assistive technology specialist at Vista Center. And our guest today is Christopher Gray with BlindShell USA. And Chris is going to tell us all about the BlindShell 2 cell phone. And we're glad that you're able to join us today. Welcome, Chris. You'll need to unmute yourself.
Yep, I am.
There, we can hear you. Great. Thank you. Welcome.
All
Welcome.
right.
We're anxious
Thank
to
you.
hear about the BlindShell Classic 2.
Well, thank you very much. And I probably ought to clarify, just for the sake of total accuracy here. I'm not directly with BlindShell. I distribute the BlindShell phone, but I distribute it through my own company, Q&G Premium Products. And we have a number of products besides the BlindShell phone. We have the all-terrain cane, we have the ARX headset, and those are our two other main products. But anyway, the purpose today is to tell you about the BlindShell phone. I don't know about you guys, but I really dislike touch screens. I always have. I've never gotten along well with them. I do have a touch screen phone, and I use it. I've got a Samsung S22, and I can use it. I can function with it. But is it comfortable? No, not really. Is it convenient? No, not at all. And I just have always found non flat screen, touch screen type phones to work with. For years, I used a phone from France called Claria. Sadly, they went out of business, so I had to find something else. And I was very excited when the original BlindShell came along. The original BlindShell, however, was a product I decided not to carry. It was not as well made as the current version. It didn't have the wide array of software the current version has, and so I gave BlindShell 1 a miss. And if any of you have had a 1 and had a bad experience or didn't care for the 1 for various reasons, forget that and focus on BlindShell 2, what it is, how it works, and that's what I'm here to tell you about today. The 2 is far more well built. It's much sturdier in construction. It's got good hardware behind it. Just as one example, its battery is twice the battery life of an Apple phone, an iPhone. And it charges real fast, and I can use my BlindShell for 2 solid days without really needing to recharge it. So that's just one aspect of its good robustness as a phone. Now, the phone itself is about the size of your old-fashioned candy bar phone. It's not a flip phone, but it's about that size. It's smaller than my Samsung by a fair amount, smaller than most iPhones. On the top of the phone is a screen, a fairly large screen, and it's not a touch screen. But it shows in print what you're hearing via speech as I move into a more full demonstration of the phone. It's there for low vision people and for sighted colleagues who may want to, see what's going on because they don't understand your speech rate or something like that. Now, below the screen are buttons. Yes, my friends, real buttons. How about that? There's a numeric keypad, just like a touchtone keypad or a calculator keypad for most blindness-oriented calculators anyway. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, star, 0, and pound sign. Now, above the keypad are are 6 buttons. In the center, there's an up and down button. On the top left is a tiny little dot kind of button, and I'll tell you what it does later on. And on the right is a repeat button, another dot. Below those buttons, above the 1 and the 3, we have above the 1 an OK button, above the 3 a slash or back button. So there's all the buttons on the phone. And as I go through this, you'll see what they do. And so, as I said before, no swiping, no tapping, no zigzagging around. You use the buttons to do everything. And that, to me, is the gold standard of a real accessible phone. Going to the features of the phone, it's very full-featured. A lot of these phones that have been made for the blind and older people and so forth have a few functions, and that's it. They can do a very small number of things, and basically they don't have design teams building them out. They don't have people whose job it is to enhance and increase the capability of the software. So, you get what you get, and it ain't much. Now, in BlindShell, as you'll find in a moment, you have a lot of stuff. So just looking at the main menu, and I'm not going to play the phone a lot for you, but I will play a little of it here. At the top of the main menu,
call, 1 of 7.
You have call, and in call, you can dial a number from your directory. You can enter a number just by entering the buttons on your phone.
Dial contact,
so
1 of 5.
That's a contact from your directory.
Dial number, 2 of 5.
That's the number you put in yourself.
Call history, 3 of 5.
You can look at your call history. So maybe you just know you called somebody 2 or 3 calls back and you want to go there and check it out. Just enter in here, go down, press enter on the history person you want to call, and there you go.
Call statistics, 4 of 5.
Here are your call statistics. It will tell you how many calls you've made in the last day or last month, inbound, outbound, et cetera, et cetera. I don't actually use this feature at all, but it's there. So if you like that kind of thing, you got it.
Block numbers, 5 of 5.
Here you can block a number you don't want to call you again. I do use that. I wouldn't use it on any of you guys, of course, but I find that a very, very handy feature. So that's call.
Call, 1 of 7. Messages, 2 of 7.
Next, we have the messages function. This is text messages, and these are SMS messages, and you can get like calling. You can send a message to a person in your contact list. You can send a message to a number that you dial, and you can send group messages. So like on Labor Day, I had about 15, 18 friends I wanted to message. and just say Happy Labor Day. Hope you're having fun. Yada yada yada. So I went into this area and added each person. They were all on my contacts list. They don't have to be, but they were. And then did my text and sent the message, and boom, they all got it. And most of them answered back, which I kind of liked. That was fun. Now, you just heard a little noise, maybe kind of a clicky noise, and the phone vibrated. That's because it turned the screen off. It timed out. And that's a battery saving measure. And I have it set to time out, I think in 1 minute or 2 minutes, I forget. Fairly fast. So we'll turn it back on by pressing the down arrow.
Messages, 2 of 7.
Okay.
Contacts, 3 of 7.
Contacts. Here's your contact list. You can add people to it. If you had another phone or you've got a big bunch of contacts in another phone, you can go to your T-Mobile store and have them transfer the contacts over to this phone. If you want and you're good at this kind of thing, you can go into your Google account and transfer them out from Google if you've saved your contacts to Google.
Contacts list, 1
So
of 6. Add new contact, 2 of
there's
6.
adding.
Single button dialing, 3 of 6.
You can assign a single button to dial a number. So I got like 1 assigned to my voicemail. And by pressing 1 from the main menu, I go straight to voicemail. You can do that for any single button.
Import contacts from file, 4 of 6.
Well, we're getting into the weeds now, but if you save your contacts to a file and you got to back up your phone or something like that, you can get them back from the file. And you can put them in your SD card and save them that way too for safekeeping.
Applications, 4 of 7.
Applications, we'll go back there in just a second.
Settings,
5 is settings, all the kind of settings you'd think. I mean, you got about 100 ringtones to choose from. You can set what your alarm sounds like. You got about 60 or 70 of them. Your reminder, you can set that, et cetera, et cetera.
Manual, 6 of 7.
You have an online manual.
Turn off
7,
the phone.
you
7
can
of
turn
7.
off the phone. So there you go. Now I'm going to go back to applications by pressing 4 on the phone. And in any menu, if you remember, like 1 is phone, you can just press 1 and go straight to phone, or 3, go straight to your contacts. So I pressed 4 and went into the part of BlindShell that really makes it shine. Lorraine, I happen to see you raise your hand, and we'll get to you if you can hold on to that question in a little bit. I'm not going to make a long presentation, so we can go more in depth to anything you want once we go through the basics. Now, going into applications, as I say, this is where the phone really shines, where you really find out how and where the rubber meets the road.
Applications.
Phone turned off. I got to turn it back on.
Internet browser. 1 of 12.
Okay. Yes, you have an internet browser, and the browser's pretty good. When I get a link in my email, I can click the link, run the application, and in most cases, do what I need to do to say yes or no, or if I have a doctor appointment, I read the appointment, it says confirm appointment. I hit the confirm key, that button just above the 1, and lo and behold, it's confirmed. Now, these browsers on phones are never perfect, and so there are some issues that come up, but not big ones.
Tools. 2 of 12.
Here we have tools. Well, tools, that's kind of a vacuous thing. So I'll go in there for just a moment. I won't go through all the tools, but I'll give you a sample.
Alarm. 1 of 14.
That's your alarm clock. So there are 14 tools. Okay. That's pretty impressive right there. First is your alarm clock.
Calculator. 2 of 14.
You have a simple calculator. It's no, scientific calculator. It's simple, but effective.
Calendar. 3 of 14.
Your calendar, keep your date book and everything in there. The phone will inform you as you tell it to. And so it's a great feature.
Checklist. 4 of 14.
Checklist is just a list of things like that you want to remember to do the next day or 2 or 5 or whatever.
Currency converter. 5 of 14.
Currency converter. Now, this is a worldwide phone. We might not have a lot of use for the currency converter here, but you would have a lot of use for it in Europe or Asia or wherever. So that's why that's there.
File manager. 6 of 14.
Your file manager for things on your SD card, for things on your phone. You can add ringtones to the phone if you want to. You can add alarms. You can create playlists of music files that you add to the phone and really make the phone your own in that sense.
Flashlight. 7 of 14.
Flashlight. My friends use that flashlight all the time. I don't, but often they do, getting into the back of my computer, this and that. And so they do that.
Minute timer. 8 of 14.
Here's a minute timer.
Notes. 9 of 14.
You can make notes.
Stopwatch. 10 of 14.
Stopwatch, you all know what that is.
Translator. 11 of 14.
I've never used the translator. It can translate words for you, a little bit like Alexa, really.
Unit converter. 12 of 14.
Unit converter. Whenever you hear the temperature in Celsius, you can convert it to Fahrenheit, et cetera, all kind of other conversions.
Voice recorder. 13 of 14.
Voice recorder. I use that a lot. I really do. You can make quick notes. You can give yourself, a reminder of something, or if you hear something on TV, I got to remember that and check it out when I'm on my computer. You can do that. Okay, so a lot of tools. And tools, my friends, is just the beginning.
Tools. 2 of 12.
So there are 12 application areas.
Communication. 3 of 12.
Communications. Lots of things in here. The most important one being email. Yes, you can do email on this phone, and it works very, very well.
Media. 4 of 12.
Media. We'll look at media just a little bit.
BBC Sounds. Radio and podcast.
That's fun.
1 of
BBC
15.
Sounds. I'm a British nut, so I like the BBC, and that appeals to me.
Camera. 2 of 15.
You've got a camera, and later on in this menu, you've got a moving picture camera application. You can take a photo. You can take a video of, like I took 3 minutes of a train ride several months ago through the Colorado Rockies, and attached it to email and sent it to some friends. They loved it. And of course, I had someone help me focus the camera correctly out the window and avoid the glare. A well-meaning, friendly passenger was happy to do it for me.
FM radio. 3
You
of
got
15.
an FM radio, which you need to have a headphone to use because it uses the wire of the headphone for the antenna. You hams out there will understand that.
Images. 4 of 15.
Images for looking at your
Internet radio.
photos.
5 of 15.
Internet radio. Tons of internet radio stations from all around the world.
Music player. 6 of 15.
You can play your MP3 files this way and so forth. This is a good time to mention that the BlindShell does have Bluetooth. You can use your Bluetooth speakers. You can use your Bluetooth headset, et cetera, and a Bluetooth keyboard. If you want to use a keyboard to enter names and addresses and so forth, you can speak them into the phone, but you can also use the Bluetooth keyboard to enter them as well.
Media.
Lots and lots of other media applications.
Books. 5 of 12.
Books, book readers of various kinds for various parts of the world.
Games. 6 of 12.
Games, silly games for the most part. But how many of you used to have a Simon? Well, you've got a Simon again when you get a BlindShell. So that's fun. And there's a dice game and some kind of fun stuff like that.
Vision aids, 7 of 12.
Vision aids, I will jump in here for a second.
Ira Explorer, 1 of 13.
You can use Ira on this phone. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
ARCs, 2 of 13.
ARCs, the ARCs headset that we also sell. It's like the Envision glasses. It's like Orcam, but it's not glasses. It's just a headset that you wear with a front-facing camera. And so you can use it to look around, to read documents. It'll read handwriting, all this kind of thing.
Be My Eyes, 3 of 13.
Be My Eyes. I'll bet all of you know what Be My Eyes is. I'd be pretty surprised if you don't. Now, of course, you have to, for Ira and Be My Eyes and some of these, you have to go through a setup registration process on the phone, but it's very accessible. It's not hard to do, and you can make it work for you.
Beepers, 4 of 13.
Beepers. You can buy beepers that you attach to things, and when you ask the phone to find like those keys, where did I put those darn keys? And you can do that with the beepers function.
Color indicator, 5 of
Color
13.
indicator. You know what that is, I think.
Google Lookout, 6 of 13.
Google Lookout. Very fancy application. It's maybe you iPhone users know Seeing AI, other things. Google Lookout can do a lot of things visually for you.
GPS points, 7 of 13.
GPS points, that's like points of interest on a GPS machine.
Light sensor, 8 of 13.
Light sensor to find lights.
Localization, 9 of 13.
Localization, that's mostly a foreign language kind of function that we would typically not use.
Magnifying glass, 10 of 13.
Magnifying glass. If you have low vision, you can use that to magnify, excuse me, things with your phone.
NFC object tagging, 11 of 13.
This is a kind of object tagging where you can put a different kind of tag on clothing and things like that, and tag it for color, et cetera, et cetera.
QR object tagging,
QR, you hear this on TV. Scan the QR code and be in touch with so and so and so. At Q&G on our banner for our table, we have our QR code. You can put your whole catalog in a QR code. A BlindShell user or any user who has QR code capability in their phone can grab that code, and they've got whatever you put on that catalog.
Playbox, 13 of 13.
Okay, we won't worry about Playbox.
Travel, 8 of 12.
Travel, you've got a lot of different travel applications in there.
Lazarillo, 1 of 1.
Lazarilla is the only one that I've loaded. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, folks. If you try and use it, I think you'll be very, very impressed.
Health and Fit, 9 of 12.
Health and Fit, that's your step counter. Get those 5,000 steps in every day, guys. You need to do that.
Online, 10 of 12. Shopping, 11 of 12.
Shopping, like Amazon Shopping, things like that. Okay,
Applications,
so you get the idea.
4 of 7.
Oops.
Internet browser.
Didn't mean to go back that far.
2. Communication, media, books. 5 of 12. Games. 6 of vision aids.
Vision aids, we pretty well exhausted that.
Travel, 8 of 12. Health and Fit.
I wasn't that menu, the right menu. Okay, so those are the applications.
Applications. 4 settings. 5 of 7. Applications.
Now, one application that I don't have loaded in here, but I do want to highlight because I think it's very important, is BARD, the National Library Service book reading program. BARD is a great utility. It can allow you to bring books on your phone. And so if you're going to take a trip, like I like to take long train trips. Well, without BARD, unless I bring my Victor, of course, I'm in trouble. But there you have BARD, and I think that's a very big deal. BlindShell is adding applications all the time. And you're just going to continue to see the list of applications grow and grow. And so that's a great feature of the phone. It also updates probably once a week. I get 2, 3, 5, 10 updates because they want to fix bugs, keep the phone current, respond to user feedback. And so you will get those updates, and you can easily and quickly install them in your phone. So if you want to know, for example, if you,
settings, 5 of 7.
You have an update, you go into settings.
Sounds, 1 of 11.
Sounds.
About phone. System update, 10 of 11.
System update.
Check for updates, 1 of 2.
Check. Do I need updates?
You have the latest version of the BlindShell system.
Oh, yay. I have the latest version. Well, that's great. And you'll get a notification about updates. Notifications are a key part of iPhones and Android phones, as you may know. And they're awful hard to get at, as you also may know. So here you just press the notification key, and the notification key is a fast way to get to a few major things about your phone you're going to want to know.
3 new notifications. 1
So
of 6.
I do have some notifications, 3 of them, in fact, which I better go listen to when we're done here.
10:36 a.m.
There's
Friday,
the time.
September 8th, 2023. Wi-Fi state. Connected to qgpremium.com.
What's my Wi-Fi? Am I connected?
99%. 3 of 6.
99%. That's great.
Bluetooth. Disabled. 4 of 6.
Bluetooth's off.
Signal strength 100% 4G. Carrier mobile. Mobile data enabled. Data use. Battery state 88%. 6 of 6.
So really important things that you may want to know. And if I'm anywhere and I hit the back key,
you have the latest version of the BlindShell system. 1 of 1.
We have to go back layer by layer.
Check for updates. 1 of 2. System update. 10 of 11. Settings. 5 of 7. 3 new notifications. 10. Call. 1 of 7.
Okay. So we're back to the beginning. I'm going to stop now. I know Lorraine had a question, and maybe others of you do, but that's the basics of the phone. And let's see what you want to know. So I'm going to mute and wait to hear a question.
This is Lorraine.
Go ahead, Lorraine.
In messages, I have seen the delete button once. It said delete all. I haven't found it again, and I haven't figured out how to delete individual messages. So I was wondering if you could elaborate on that.
So if you get a message from somebody, that message comes to you as a notification.
Yeah.
If you hear the message, you press the notification button, you hear the message. And you probably notice that when you press the notification button again, that message is gone.
Yep.
And you're like, what happened? Where'd it go? Where is it? Well, guess what? BlindShell has an area within messaging called conversations. And your message has gone into your conversation with that particular individual. You can choose to save conversations, and I do, because to be honest, I find that 2, 3, 4 weeks down the road, I might want to reference a conversation. Or if somebody has sent me their address in a message, and I haven't gotten around to putting it in my address book, I know it's in that conversation, and I can go and get it from there if I want to. You can delete messages from conversations, and you can delete a whole conversation from your conversation list. So it's pretty powerful.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Lorraine. Dora, I see that you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, this is Dorit. Can you hear me?
Hey, Dory, we can
yes, we can.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, so I had a couple questions. One is how much memory is on the phone?
There's a certain amount of memory in the phone, and I don't remember exactly
Like
how
my
much.
smartphone has like 128 whatever, and because I have the pictures, it's like done.
Right. Well, yeah, the internal memory of the phone is pretty good. I think it's 128 gig.
Okay.
I think, but what I know for sure is you can put an SD card, a micro SD card in your phone,
Yeah,
and that can be up to 128 gig.
nice. Okay, so you can extend it.
Oh yeah.
Also,
Oh yeah.
I'm
And 128 gig is a lot of
it
memory.
is, but the apps seem to take a lot of space. So
They don't in BlindShell.
awesome. My
No.
other question is, so I'm a teacher and I work with youngsters. Would this be an appropriate phone for somebody who's like pre-high school?
I think so. I think it would be, well, this is just my bias, of course, but I think it's the most appropriate because it's something they can use, and they don't have to struggle with the touch screen and all the
Yeah. Are they
difficulty that
able
goes with
to
it.
download like common apps that are available through the App Store or something, or it just comes preloaded?
The apps that I showed you are the apps that I've loaded from the BlindShell App Store. Now, you cannot go to the Google Play Store and download Google Android apps, for example. You have to use apps that are particularly made for the BlindShell 2.
Okay, great.
And there's about 65 to 70 of them, and growing all the time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks, Dorit. Farhang, I see that you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Hello, it's me, Farhang. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm very late in joining the meeting. I just joined at 10:30. I couldn't join the meeting for some reason. But so can you summarize what is this BlindShell Classic? Can you summarize in 2 minutes?
Farhang, I think that because with the recording, we'll be able to do that. But let's finish up with the rest of the questions. And if we do have a little bit of time, we'll be able to do that, okay?
One second, next question. It is a type of a phone. How much does it cost?
The cost of the BlindShell, and this is pretty much no matter who you buy it from. Of course, I'd love you to buy it from me, but that goes without saying, right? The cost is $529.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, okay. Can I get more information after everybody's asked their questions about it?
Sure. And and there will be the recording of the whole session.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Farhang.
Thank you, Ryan.
My pleasure. Stephen, go ahead. I see that you have your hand raised.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, Chris, I want to say that I enjoyed your presentation. Now, although I am an Apple iPhone user and I'm quite happy with Apple for a number of reasons, I always enjoy being educated as to what new technology is out there, because I know that everybody has different needs. So my question was, and I guess it was similar to the other lady who asked a while back about apps. Like, see, for example, I'm a Facebook user. So could I download the Facebook app somehow and use it? And if I were using the BlindShell, could I somehow, is there a version that's compatible with the BlindShell?
The full Facebook app is not currently available on BlindShell. You do have Facebook Messenger, however. So you have a way into your Facebook contacts and messages and things like that.
Oh, okay. And like say I was going to switch from Apple to BlindShell. Is there, can my contacts from Apple be transferred into the BlindShell somehow, or would I have to start all over?
Oh, no, you can transfer them over. If you're good, you can do it yourself. If you don't want to bother, go to the phone store and have them do it for you. That's what I tell most people to do, because they know what they're doing. It's quick and easy, and you know it's done.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thanks. And I'd love to know, and imagine you're probably going to give the information as to where we can find out more about this phone. And
sure.
I'd love to read more about it or whatever. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
All right.
Thanks, Stephen. I think it's Leo Lenoid. Go ahead. I see that you have your hand raised.
Hi, everyone. This is Leo. I just have a few questions. So I was initially wondering, do you know whether this phone is 5G supported? I heard in the status bar it said 4G, but I was just wondering, and whether there are any carrier or band limitations.
Yeah, well, it's 4G, and it's not 5G or anything higher. The highest is 4G. As far as carriers, the primary carrier and the recommended carrier is T-Mobile. Now, any carrier that uses a T-Mobile tower can be used, and we do have customers who are using AT&T. AT&T is problematic. They don't cooperate well with us. As usual, AT&T doesn't play nice. And so while, yes, you can use AT&T, it's strongly recommended that you don't. We'll share the settings that we believe will work, but basically you're on your own.
Yeah, makes sense. And then I was also wondering, do you know which Android version this phone runs on?
I do not.
Yeah. No
the
worries.
last I heard, it was running Android 8. Now, if that's been updated, I don't know that, but certainly 8, you can count on 8, and hopefully something higher soon.
Got it. And then my final question. So I noticed you were talking about apps, and you can install them from the catalog, right? Is there any way to sideload them? Like, say if there's an app you really want, but it's not available in the catalog, can you easily sideload it considering it's Android?
No. You see, it's Android, but not Android. It's Android as redesigned to work with BlindShell. So you just can't take a standard Android app and have it work.
Got it. All right. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Leo. Appreciate your question. Tove, I see that you have a question. Go ahead.
Yes. My question is about, what would you say is like the total cost? You know, there's the 500 plus for the hardware. Then what else would I be putting out to use this?
Well, I understand T-Mobile is charging $10 these days for their SIM card, and there would be whatever you pay for an SD card, which is probably something on the order of between $30 and $50, and that would be it. That'd be your, and you don't have to have a SIM card. I would strongly urge people to get one, but it's not a requirement.
So then I have a Apple phone. I paid for the year. I think it's $15 a month, but I paid the full thing for the year. So would this work the same way with?
In terms of your carrier,
T-Mobile,
carrier, you would have to, pay whatever your carrier monthly fee is. Yes.
And are the apps that are loaded on there, is there a charge for all of them, or are they all free?
They're all free.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one last question is there like a Siri or an Alexa feature to this?
Well, there is actually. You can talk to the phone and the phone will take what you say to it and read it back, like in a text message. When you are at the place in the phone where you enter the text, you can do it with the keypad, or you can press a button on the side and you can speak what you want into the phone and it will recognize what you say. So yes.
Okay. Yeah, but you can't ask it a question
the phone, one of the software applications you have on the phone is Alexa. So if you want to use Alexa on the phone, you can do that.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Tove. Don Wilcox, I see that you have your hand raised. Go ahead. Don, are you able to unmute? Yep, you're good. We can hear you now. Thank you.
So I'm a senior, and I've got the phone, and I love it. And I have a couple of questions. One,
okay.
I do use the button on the side, and I talk to it, but you have to sometimes talk in special English, so it understands you. But then whenever I try to put something in, it will give me a place to type it, and I can choose to type it, or I can say what letters should go there. And then if I push the little button, the green button, I'm told it's green. I can't tell anymore, but it's
okay.
the second button, and it will repeat whatever I wrote. And if it's wrong, I can use the top bar. You didn't describe that, but it goes backwards when you're doing that, and you can go backwards and delete that way. One weird thing is when I first got it, I could not put headphones in it. I still can't. It won't go in the hole. My son has tried putting a paper clip down there. It'll only go halfway. But my big question is, now that everything I do online, I have to be identified. I have to have a code. So my question is, if I'm on an active call, can I push that thing when it sends me a code? The machine will ring, but I have to go to it to get it. Push the message bar to get it. So then the phone call goes away. So is that the way to do? You do one and then the other?
I'm not really sure what you're talking about there, Don, because you don't have to put codes in to do anything on this phone.
No, I know for the rest of the world you do, though, for any kind of a site that you're on. And I'm still working as a volunteer for Vista.
Oh, you mean on the web?
Yeah, on the web.
Oh, well, that's a different matter.
but I love the phone, and my problem was we're talking about to what Toby was saying. It does cost me more. It's because I live on an island. I'm based on an island, and I have to use T-Mobile. I don't have any choice, and it's not perfect. But they're charging me $50 a month for that, just for the phone. And I think that's a lot.
Just for using the phone.
Yeah.
That's their carrier fee.
That's a carrier fee. Anyway, thank you very much for explaining about. Oh, and I have one more question. When you're putting in the phone an alarm or something, you have to put, are you supposed to put, like, if you want to say 10:01, would you put a 10 and the 01? Is that how you're supposed to do it?
Yes, that's how you do it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, for the headphone, the headphone is a 3.5 millimeter jack for the headphone.
Yeah, well, we tried a whole bunch of them. We even ordered different ones from Amazon to try different companies. And my son tried getting one that was smaller, and it still wouldn't go
in. That's very strange. Very strange. I would say, well, all I can say is that 3.5 millimeters is the connector you want. It certainly works on my phone. You could get a Bluetooth headphone and do it through Bluetooth as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to hear you, Dawn.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. Lorraine, I see that you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. This is sort of an extension of what Don was talking about. When you want to use that side button to say, send a message to so-and-so, do you press and hold, or you just press and click? I've been trying to use it and I haven't been successful yet.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people have a hard time warming up to this feature. And basically the way it works is you get to a place where you want to send a message. In fact, I'll do it because that's the easiest way to show you.
Messages. 2 of 7. Write SMS to contact. 1 of, write SMS to number.
I'll write to a number.
1 of 3. 4 1 5 5 7 7 5 6 0 1.
And by the way, 415-577-5601 is the number you can reach me at. So
good.
I'll put that number.
Thank you.
415-577-5601.
Now I go down.
Text. 2 of 3.
I'm going to press enter on text.
Okay.
Now what I do here is I push the side button for about 1 second, and then I let it go. I wait for the beep, then I talk to the phone. And when I'm done, I press the confirm button. So here we go. I'm going to press the side button for 1 second. I'm going to now I'm sending my text. Well, I'm making my text, period. Press confirm.
Now I'm sending my texts while I'm making my text.
Okay.
Got it.
Hit enter.
Text. Now I'm sending my texts while I'm making my text. 2 of 3. Send message. 3 of 3.
Go down to send.
Message sent.
And
write
send
SMS to number. 2 of 6.
So that's the way that works best for me. I hear all kinds of folklore on the lists about how to use the push to talk button. But if you do it the way I just showed you, it'll work for you every time.
Got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Lorraine. Marcia, I see that you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm wondering, Chris, what actually comes with the BlindShell Classic 2 when you get it?
Okay.
And second one, I know this sounds a little weird, but does it or does it not work with Braille displays? For example, I like to read Braille a lot too. You know, like getting it from Bard or what have you. And so those are the two questions I have at the moment.
Okay. The BlindShell is not equipped to drive a Braille display at this time. So that's easy. Sorry to disappoint you, but it's only a phone, you know, it can only do so much. Now your other question. What was your other question? Sorry.
What was that?
What was your other question?
Okay. What about use with Braille displays, or is that a no-no right now?
It does not work with Braille displays, but that was the question I answered. You had two questions.
Her other question.
Okay, the other one was what comes in the BlindShell.
Oh, right. Sorry about that. So the phone obviously is one thing. A connector, which connects it to your computer or to a charging cube that comes with it. A booklet, a stand. You can hook the stand into power and then just put the phone in the stand or cradle, whatever you want to call it, and it charges itself in that way too. I think that's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
One thing I should mention too, I don't know if you have a hard stop at 11. I'm kind of guessing it'll be right around there. But there is a discussion group on groups.io if you want to join the discussion about BlindShell and learn about it. It's a list that I manage. It's free, and if you just send an email to BlindShell2, BlindShell2 plus, subscribe at groups.io. So BlindShell2 plus subscribe at groups.io. You will receive a message back. Do you really want to subscribe? Reply that you do, and you're good to go. And it's a great source of day-to-day help. Lorraine, I think you'd find it especially useful because you've got a BlindShell already and you're going to have questions as you go. We have 171 participants on that list, and pretty much any question that's answerable can be answered. Now, my company is Q&G Premium Products. QGPremium.com is the website. QGPremium.com is the website. And the phone again is 415-577-5601. That's actually my personal phone number. On my literature, I give a different one, but hey, you guys are local. I know many of you, so you can have that one. Go ahead and use it. It's fine.
Thanks, Chris, for that. Mickey, I see that you have your hand raised. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry about that. Zoom always does things different every day. Anyway.
Every day.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. We haven't talked for years and years.
I know, but I know who you are.
I know you do. I know who you are too. But anyway, what I was wanting to, I actually have a BlindShell. I've been using it a lot and had lots of I've had lots of experience with it. What I wanted to try to find out from you is, do you know
4 new notifications?
What their
battery state 87%.
What their plans are going to be as far as supporting updates to Bard? I know that, and it's okay if you say you don't know, because I think that's probably going to be the right answer.
Yeah. Well, truth is, I don't know. You know how companies are. They're not going to tell you anything until it's a done deal.
Right.
I certainly hope they continue to work on the Bard application.
Yeah.
It works, but it's clumsy.
Yeah. The biggest problem I have, and there is a solution for it, but it seems to cause other weirdness. If you're playing a talking book and you just leave it alone and you haven't changed any of the default settings, when it goes to standby,
right,
you're lost. You have to figure out how to get back to the play button or whatever.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it jumps you to the top of the menu, and you got to go all the way down the menu to get to play, which is a real nuisance.
So you hold the button down, and then when you know you're at the bottom, you hit the up arrow 4 times.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
That's my tip.
Well, thank you.
Okay, great.
Appreciate
That's all right. It's good to talk to you, Chris.
You too. You too. Thanks for coming.
Sure.
Thanks, Mickey. At this particular time, Chris, we no longer have any hands raised.
Okay.
Does anyone else have any questions for Chris during this time? Okay, we have his contact information if needed. Also, Farhang, did that answer a lot of your questions in regards to what the BlindShell phone is? And do you think that you'd be well enough to look back and listen to the recording?
Yes, I would like to look back into the recording, Ryan.
Perfect. We can get that for you. Okay, my friend?
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much,
right, thank
Chris.
you. Bob, I'll go ahead and hand it back to you, okay?
Okay. Well,
hello, Bob.
Hi, Farhan. Thank you, Chris, for coming today and telling us all about the BlindShell 2. I think we all learned a lot, and it seems like it's a really good product. And so I want to thank you for coming today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Glad to do it.
Great. And thank you, everybody else, for joining us today. I appreciate you coming to Tech It Out with Vista. And we hope to see you all next month. And with that, we'll say goodbye.